Should women own Bitcoin? Well, apparently some folks don't think so. I mean, obviously this is satire, and yes, women should own Bitcoin, along with other crypto as they see fit. But a huge number of women do not own Bitcoin. In fact, only 15% of Bitcoin investors are women. Why is this? What is preventing women from investing in cryptocurrency? Well, let's find out. First, let's take a step back and look at what Bitcoin is exactly. Bitcoin is a form of digital currency. It's kind of like virtual cash that anyone can use anywhere. Like gold, there is a limited supply of Bitcoin. And this is actually really important because it helps stabilize the price of Bitcoin and helps prevent inflation. If you want to buy Bitcoin, you can either purchase it at a place like Coinbase or you can mine it. Another important point to remember is that Bitcoin is not run by any government or centralized authority. As a Glamour article once put it, what's most fascinating about cryptocurrencies is that they don't care who you are. Be you a man, woman, person of color, trans, someone with bad credit, someone with no credit. If you can log onto a computer and push the right buttons, you can send money just like anyone else. That accessibility is such a big part of what makes this technology such a breakthrough. There's no gatekeeper. Bitcoin is a decentralized currency. In order to make sure that there are no duplicates of Bitcoin, there is this massive ledger that is shared across multiple computers that track all of Bitcoin's activity. That ledger is called blockchain. How did Bitcoin even start? So Bitcoin was created way back in 2008 by a human who goes by the pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto. This mysterious person mined 1 million Bitcoins and then peaced out, handing the entire operation over to Gavin Andresen. Andresen became the lead developer at the Bitcoin Foundation and sought to decentralize control. Over the past decade, Bitcoin has gone from 3 cents per Bitcoin way back in 2011 to an all-time high of almost $64,000 in 2021, with lots of fluctuations in between. Okay, now that we know what Bitcoin is and how it started, what's the deal with women not owning Bitcoin? Only 15% of Bitcoin investors are women. The average cryptocurrency user is male, white, and between the ages of 18 and 34. There are 3 main reasons for this. Study after study has shown that women are more risk averse than men when it comes to investing. Similarly, study after study has shown that men are actually overconfident when it comes to their investing abilities. There's something called the gender pay gap. Men have more disposable income and therefore more income to invest. That's called the gender wealth gap. In other words, men have more money to invest in Bitcoin. Let me break down my first point. Women are more risk averse than men, especially when it comes to investing. Women spend more time researching their investment choices and aren't willing to take as much of a risk as men. This natural reservation isn't necessarily a bad thing. It often means that women don't gamble with their investments. The downside, of course, is that this means that women can miss out on some pretty big upsides, which leads me to my second point. A study from Berkeley University showed that on the whole, men are overconfident when it comes to investing. This doesn't actually mean that men know more than women. In fact, in many instances, women have actually been proven to be better investors than men. Men just think they're good investors and often go all in on their decisions, like Bitcoin. Lastly, and this is a pretty big kicker when it comes to women and Bitcoin, even though women are in many cases better investors than men, that doesn't mean that there is an equal number of men and women in general investing. Women on the whole earn less than their male counterparts because of the good old gender wage gap, and in turn invest less because they have less to spend. With more discretionary spending power, it should come as no surprise that more men have invested in Bitcoin. All of this brings us back to the entire point of the video. Should women own Bitcoin? The answer to that question is really the same for women and men. It depends. Well, I don't recommend putting more than 5% of your portfolio in Bitcoin. Because of the technology that Bitcoin brings to the table as a currency, it's probably not going anywhere. That being said, if you can't deal with investments that fluctuate a lot, Bitcoin probably isn't for you, and there is nothing wrong with that. Thank you so much for tuning in, and don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all that good